9:21 now, so we're all talking about holiday shopping already. And if you plan to buy a higher priced item for the holidays and putting it on your credit card, you might be surprised to hear just how much it's actually going to cost you if you don't pay it off your card immediately.
Yep, if it sits there, it's going to be a problem. Brad Huffman is a certified financial planner with Future Finances, here to show us some of the shocking numbers. Brad, this is really kind of amazing when you really look at it. It was an iPad.
Yep.
Which was an expensive purchase.
Exactly.
But when you look at the interest, now you're in trouble.
Not so cheap anymore. You might have gotten a great deal. Maybe you go Thanksgiving morning at 6 a.m. to Kmart and get your iPad, whatever it is. But you have to be careful because that purchase may seem like a good deal at the time, but over time can be very expensive if you don't manage the card right.
Let's take a look at some of those numbers, and you can actually see what this works out to be. So this is a 15% interest, which quite honestly is kind of low.
It is kind of low. It's a national average right now, so it's a good starting point, but I would agree most probably are actually higher than that right now.
Like around 20, right?
So you spend $700. The total cost with interest then is $845.
$845. So you're talking 20% more for that same iPad, and you could be paying it for the next couple Christmas seasons, holiday seasons, because it's just going to continue to linger. Now this is based on a minimum payment around $28. Some cards are going to vary, so it can linger a long time. It can cost you a lot more. And if you think about it, that $145 get you 3 tanks of gas, a week's worth of groceries. There's a lot of other things that money can do for you. Now, just quickly, if you decide, hey, maybe just double the payment. Now, I prefer pay it off, hands down, every month.
But if you
can't do that, just doubling that minimum payment cuts it payback to a year, cuts your interest expense to $65 versus the $145. So everything you can do to be aggressive on the payback is very important when it comes to credit cards.
I mean, so often you don't think about it. You put it on the credit card and think, oh, I'll just end it. But you need to really get your mind around the fact that you think you're getting a good deal. $145. I mean, that is a week's worth of groceries for a family. So you need to think about that. A laptop.
Laptop, yeah. If you need some of those bigger ticket items, maybe you've got a college student or a high school student or somebody who needs it, the bigger the numbers, the scarier it gets when you're using the credit card. So again, same credit card, 15% interest rate, same minimum payment. You pay that, put that $1,200 on there. Now, for the next 5 years, you'll be making a minimum payment. Now you're going to be paying over $500 more for that $1,200 laptop. So now it's about a $1,700 laptop versus the $1,200 laptop.
So you thought you got a good deal, but when it turns out, once you've paid the interest, not so much.
And again, if you can't afford to pay it off on time or very near the time that you make the purchase, it's very expensive. It's going to get worse. It's going to linger. That's 44% more that you're paying for that laptop.
So is then a savings plan the way to go to gear up for your holiday shopping?
It really should be. Personally, I hate shopping, so this time of year is very difficult because I'd rather you be a saver first, but obviously this time of year that changes even for me as well. So you really do want to have that bucket of money where you're setting aside. Now, I still like the idea of using the card if you're going to get some points, maybe some bonuses. That's a great feature to exploit, but at the same time, you got to be prepared when that bill comes. You've got to be either don't pay the minimum. You got to pay more than the minimum. Even just doubling the minimum, say from $30 to $50 or $60 a month, you have to do it. But if you have that bucket of money on the side, now that's your Christmas money. That's your Hanukkah money. Whatever you need it for, be prepared for it.
Now, Brad, how do you feel about those? So many times they run promotions, 0%, right? So 0% for a year. What do you think that's a good idea, especially for holidays?
That's much more appealing.
Okay.
Now, so some of the home shopping, networks and things like that, they have those programs where you can pay over time, 0 interest. I don't have a problem with those necessarily if you can do them properly.
You got to pay it off.
If you don't pay it off, they're going to go retro, charge you everything you missed. But they're a great tool. If you don't have the money, don't put it on a credit card, pay that kind of interest. If there's a way to work out a program where you're not paying interest, you're still only paying, if it's $700, by the time you're done, it's still $700. It may take you a little while to do it. But I'd much rather you do that if you don't have the cash than to put it on a credit card.
So there are options.
There's definitely some choice. And there's a lot of retailers are fighting for your money. They want you to shop there. I think you can find great layaway programs, again, home shopping, all this other stuff. There's ways to do it. Just be very careful. A credit card will be very expensive, and it will linger for years in some cases.
Brad Huffman, thank you. As always, we appreciate the advice.
Absolutely.
Thank you much.
I'm going to cross some things off my list now.
Yeah, watch out, watch out.
For a link to all those financial websites and all that, go to myfox28columbus.com. We've got some great ideas for you. Click on the left side of the homepage and you'll find it all there.